hello today, and today you join me. We're at Stony Brook University. Right over there is the dorm building that I used to live in. So if you guys can see that window right there, top one right above my finger, that was my dorm room for a couple of years here at Stony Brook University. I chose this spot to do this video because it's kind of a humbling experience. You know, when I was here, I had no idea what I wanted to do in life, and to be honest, I still don't, but having something like this was something that, you know, I really couldn't even fathom how I was going to get there back when I was, you know, going to school here. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to go over the entire build with you guys. I brought my folder here. This is where I keep everything. This is like my Bible for the car, all the service records, all the receipts for everything, other than, you know, all the parts. That's on my computer, but basically my spreadsheet, I printed it out of all the parts that I bought, and we're going to go over this today. So, you know, I'll kind of walk you through what we did, and I'll talk you through how much money I spent. It was a lot. I'm going to set this down. Don't worry, there's $8,000 in PPF on the car. So this is our spreadsheet, and I'm going to kind of run you through what we did, how much money I spent, what I spent the money on, and how we did the build, and how I got to where I'm $141,951.40 into the car. So, you know, join me now and we'll run through this. Oh, sorry for the sun. We'll run through this and we'll kind of explain what we did. This is a 2023 BMW M2. It's not as high as you could possibly spec one, but it's up there. So I have the original window sticker, and let me get that for you. Hold on. All right, I lied. I must have forgot the window sticker at home. I guess it's somewhere else. Regardless, MSRP on this car was $70,950. It was just under 71 grand. So I bought the car from BMW of Freeport here in New York, and I bought it in July of last year, so July of 2023. A couple months after the car came out. I did pay a $5,000 ADM. You know, judge me how you will. In my opinion, it didn't really matter, because at the time, the M240 that I traded in was worth $43,000 was the book value. I negotiated where they paid me $48K for my car, so I got 5 grand over, which made basically the 5K ADM a wash. And it took a while to get that deal done, but we were able to do that. So that's how we started. Now, as far as my financing goes, if any of you guys are, you know, curious about that, I put $35K down. I had equity in the M240. I financed a little over $30K on this thing. I only owe about $26 now, and my payments are $590 a month. So I got that for $590 a month. I mean, there's people out there driving Camrys for that. Now, when I got the car, because I didn't get to spec it, there was a lot of OEM and performance stuff that I would have ordered port installed that I couldn't do. So shout out to Get BMW Parts, you know, phenomenal. Those guys, it's another BMW dealership actually in Maryland, believe it or not. They're phenomenal on their pricing, great on their communication, and they hooked me up with a lot of this stuff. Between them and IND, a lot of my stuff comes from Get BMW Parts and IND. So we'll kind of run through what we did here. So I'm going to talk through this, and then I'll film some B-roll, and I'll kind of cut that in over top so you can see. But first thing we did were the M Performance G87 M2 carbon front air inlets. So those are down there on the front bumper, those carbon intakes. Those were $970. Then we did the trunk spoiler, carbon fiber. That was $674.95. The carbon rear diffuser was $1,230. We did the heritage badges. Front and rear were $59.79 each. And then the badges for the wheels, so the hub, whatever the hell those things are called, center caps, those were $161.38. I got the slimline license plate frames from BMW. Those were $31.12 each. I got the Alpha N carbon GT front lip. That was $2,195. We did the painted trunk emblem. That was $117. We did the painted front emblem, $139.95. I did the Rogue Engineering billet license plate bracket. I'm sure if you guys have had a BMW, you know those plastic license plate brackets suck. I changed the license plates on this car 3 times. So the screws were, the plastic was stripped out, it was falling apart, screws were falling out. I ordered a quality one from IND. It's made by Rogue Engineering. That was $119. My front license plate bracket, you know, I'm here in New York, I don't want to be getting ticketed all the time. That license plate bracket was $80. Then things that I have and have not yet installed. So I have the vinyl decals that say M Performance for the sides. I actually had to order those twice, but we're not going to count it as twice. $170.63. Then we did the yellow DRLs. I don't have them installed yet. Those are $300 from IND. I also did the splash guards. Haven't installed those yet. $189. The car also has paint protection film from XPEL. So it's XPEL Ultimate, and it has XPEL Prime XR Plus window tint. That whole job was $8,005.66. And then BMW Bayshore, to install all those OEM parts, they charged me $2,500. So just in exterior mods, basically, and little OEM crap, and I'm at $17,034.39. That's a lot of money for just cosmetic mods. Next thing I did was I bought that stupid roof rack. I go back and forth whether or not I like it or I don't like it. I'm not going to run you through each component. With Thule, you order everything separately. The roof rack setup was $849.75. Hilarious that I run it once in a while, so there's that. Then we did wheels. So my car has OEM 827M CSL wheels on it, front and rear. The fronts were $600.20 each for a total of $1,200.40. And then the rears were $737.91 each for a total of $1,475.82. Now, if you notice, I have beadlocks on here. We didn't have to buy new tires, actually. I should mention that. I took the tires off the stock wheels. They were the exact same size, so I didn't have to buy new Michelin PS4Ss. But I did have to buy tires for the beadlocks. So VFC Performance, huge shout out to them. They made me a custom set of 827Ms style beadlock wheels, 18x11. They're absolutely phenomenal, and I will have a video coming for you, VFC. Don't worry, I'm going to do a video on the wheels. Retail is about $2,600 or $2,800, so a lot of money for just two wheels. And then the tires. So two Nitto drag radials, NT555R2, 315/315/40 R18. Those were $876 for the pair. Then I had to mount and balance my original wheels at BMW Bayshore. That was a pretty good deal considering, $240 there. And then Sayville Tire mounted and balanced my beadlocks for $100. So in wheels, I'm at $5,712.22. Then we started doing stuff on the interior. Again, more OEM stuff. So I did the carbon door sills. Those were $308. I did the all-weather floor mats. So the front set was $99.51, rear set was $63.24, and then the one for the trunk was $119.64. So it's just a lot of money in mats. Then I added the door puddle projectors. Those were $107.67. Got those, they're good. Now I do have the Alcantara knee pads from my last car that I never installed. Eventually I'm going to do, more Alcantara on the interior, and I'll install those, but they're not installed yet. Those are $281. So again, just in interior stuff, and my car basically looks stock on the interior. We're at $979.06. So a lot of money, I think we're at, rough estimate here, we're at like almost $25,000, and we haven't even started getting into performance yet. So let's get into what we went to next. So again, more OEM stuff. I wanted the OEM M Performance height adjustable suspension. I didn't spec the car, so I couldn't add it port installed, but that was $1,790 from IND. And part of that $2,500 I paid to BMW Bayshore was to install that suspension. Then I got the OEM M4 CSL strut brace. That was $2,955 for something that, I recognize is designed to make you go faster, and I'm racing the car in a straight line. So I get it, cosmetic mostly for me, but at the time I thought it was worth it. That was a lot of money. And then I also did the IND Essentials kit, which is basically future classic spacers. So we did 15mm in the front, 12mm in the rear. I do not run the spacers with the drag radials on the car because I don't need them. And then it also included reflector deletes. I only installed the front ones. The rear ones I'm still iffy about. So in suspension, we're at $5,456.50. So we're really getting into this now. And this is where we really start spending money. So hold on, I'm just flipping my page here. So up until then, everything was kind of not too crazy other than the exterior stuff where we spent a lot. But this is where we started, really modifying the car. And, this is kind of where things really took a turn. So first round of mods that we did, I call it the bolt-on mods. So we did the Venturi intake system, $29.95 or $2,995. Expensive intake system. I added a painted engine cover from IND. That was $579. I did a carbon battery cover from Indiv, I don't even know how to say that, company out of Korea, $495. If Aventura made one, I would have bought it from them. Active Autowerke hooked me up. I had the first full exhaust system outside of their development car. It's owned by my friend Jorge. He has a Brooklyn Gray one down in Florida there. Basically, I had the first system. You know, they posted up development pictures of that thing, and I immediately messaged Alan, and I said, Alan, I want that. How do I get it? And he was like, don't worry, we'll make you one. So they hooked me up because I ordered one very, very early on. So I got, and I don't have the rear section on the car anymore, so that's not going to be on here, although I did pay for it. I'm not going to include that in the list. So we have the Active Autowerke catted downpipes, $2,700. We did the equal length mid pipe, $2,000. And then for the stock muffler, you know, rear section, I did the Active Autowerke carbon and black chrome tips. Those were $1,099 for exhaust tips. Again, I know I'm kind of crazy here, so oh, that's a lot. You know what I just realized? I can't show you the downpipes. I can't show you the mid pipe because it's underneath the car, so I'll get you a little sound clip here. That was not valves open. Now the valves are open. Hopefully the camera's picking that up. Nice low rumble. We'll give it one little rev and then we'll get the hell out of here. She's fucking nasty. Now, I had the intake, and at the time I had a race chip on the car. It's not on this list either. I had that installed by my friend Elvis at Realistic Motorsports. He charged $400 for that. Definitely worth every penny. That guy's really pays huge attention to detail. And then Red's shop did my exhaust. $800 Red's charged me for the exhaust. Now what's not installed yet that I do have, I have the MMR magnetic oil sump drain plug. I just wanted to get that as a safety measure. It was $30, it's not in the car yet. So that's a total in bolt-ons of $11,186.20. So a lot of money in bolt-ons there. We're losing our sunlight. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's helping me not squint here. So yeah, $11,186.20 in bolt-ons. Then we went for flex fuel. So initially, I had GTP Motorsports, helping me out. They, they did my unlock for me. They sent me a shipping label. I sent it over to Femto. I had it back in 4 days, which is crazy. For that and for the tuning that I got from GTP, I paid $3,050. I will be honest with you, I do not feel I got my money's worth. I don't want to go too far into it because I don't really have any problems with them other than the fact that they just abandoned me. But when I sent videos and pictures of my car struggling at the track in March to the tuner, I don't want to drop his name, but he completely ghosted me. He was responding to me constantly before that, and as soon as there were issues, he disappeared. I don't know what to say about this other company. Some people say I should ask for my money back. I'm not that kind of person. I paid for a service. I did get a tune from them. It took me a very long time to get a base map, and then it took a couple of weeks to get one revision, and then we went for the port injection. It was a failure on the dyno, and then I did a couple pulls on the street. He said the car was safe, and the car was not safe. No hard feelings. Remote tuning is not for me. I knew there was going to be some challenges there. I don't want to say don't go with GTP. I would say really focus and consider what you're doing when you're going to go with remote tuning. So anyway, enough about that. GTP, I paid them $3,050. I had to buy a flex fuel kit from Pro Tuning Freaks for BM3 for boot mode, which is what I'm on. That was $599. Boot mode license, $595. The stupid adapter that doesn't work ever, that was $99. Basically, don't buy that. Just buy an e-net cable and an adapter from the Apple Store. It'll work much better. And then I have the XHP license and all that. That was $468.22. I got that on sale, but I haven't been able to successfully flash XHP onto the car yet because, well, I haven't really tried. I tried at the track in March, and it didn't work. And I almost bricked the car, and I haven't had the stones to try it again. So I'm also working with Rod Stufin. He's been talking to me lately. He does have a map for the G87, so we'll have that on the car hopefully soon. That'll be another $350, but that's not on here. And then we get to the port injection, and this was really, I spent a lot of money on this recently. And like, for example, I spent in total, I'm about $2,000 in dyno time. Not on here. That's you know, that's the intangibles. There's a lot of money that was spent. Race gas, a bunch of different stuff that's not really factored into this. So I'm just giving you parts, does not include tax, does not include shipping and labor. So anyway, port injection. So we added the CSF intake manifold. About as high quality as you could possibly get. That was $6,995. Very expensive piece, I think worth it. I also did the heat exchanger. That was $699. I got a Visconti fuel pump upgrade in the tank. That was $1,295. Also added Visconti's port injection kit that uses the Reflex Plus from Motive. That was $1,550. I also have ID Injector Dynamics ID 1050X injectors. Those were $806.40. We got a set of spark plugs from NGK that are gapped to a specific amount. $141 there. I had to pay Autocraft to install this stuff. You know, when you hear this number, if you think that this is a lot, I want you to know Autocraft earned every effing dollar of this. So I paid Autocraft for installing, you know, the fuel system upgrades, installing the intake manifold, the heat exchanger, all that, and they did my front lip actually. $3,568.84. I want you to know, Autocraft assembled the car with no time. Brought it to the dyno. GTP said it was good. Now, when the tuner's saying the car is good, obviously you're going to believe the tuner. But there were issues. I brought it to Connecticut to have it retuned by Mike because I knew that there was issues with it and I wasn't comfortable driving it. And even though GTP was telling me it was safe, I knew it wasn't. And thank God I did. So brought it to Connecticut. Mike tuned it at the shop CT. The first time he had it on the dyno, big problems. Had to go back to Autocraft. AJ from Autocraft drove to Connecticut to get my car, drove it back to Autocraft, they fixed it, and he drove it back to Connecticut. That's the kind of service that you don't really have. I mean, this BMW modifying game is a crapshoot. You could end up with a shop that's Autocraft, or you can end up with a shop that has absolutely no idea what they're doing, or you could have somebody who won't touch your car because you went somewhere else. That has happened to me. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on with these BMW tuners. I can't say enough about Autocraft. Phenomenal guys. You know, AJ was reaching out to me on his own, asking me, hey, how's the car? Everything okay? Bring it by whenever you want. We'll take a look at it. I can't tell you how good it feels having support like that between Autocraft and between Mike Botti. I mean, Mike Botti's, you know, he's excited. He wants me to race this thing, and they both have invited me to events. I just haven't had time to go. So excellent money spent there. And I paid Mike Botti in total I did include the dyno time actually, so I have $1,900 for Mike Botti. That's two $200 dyno sessions, and then also $1,500 is his fee, which $1,500, he had the car on the dyno twice. I think it's worth it. That's a total for adding the port injection $16,923.24. So how much am I into this thing for? In parts cost to date, $57,279.56. Labor cost, $9,476.84. Total parts and labor, hold your pants, $66,756.40. I basically bought another M2. I invested an M2 into my M2. So my total to date on this thing, less, you know, obviously I'm not going to, you know, the loan is I assume debt. This is my asset. So in total, we're $141,951.40 into this car. And what I do want to show you is the dyno sheet. So hold on a second. All right, guys. So here's our dyno sheet. So this was when GTP had it on the dyno. Now, if you see this dip right here, that's the issue. That's the issue. And I'm not going to go too far into the reasons, to be honest, because I don't totally understand why that was happening. But that was a major, major issue in which this is the car going lean when that's happening. Motor would have been gone if I kept pushing it. So, you know, with all those issues, the car made 725/67 at the tire and 700 foot-pounds of torque. This is what Mike Botti did. Notice the dip is gone. The dip is gone. The issues were solved. And look at the power curve, right? It's way, way more smooth. It's way better. There isn't a dip. And we made 780 at the tire on high boost and 722 foot-pounds of torque. So Botti made another, what is that, 55 horsepower and 22 foot-pounds of torque at less boost, mind you, with less boost. And then on low boost, so on 31 PSI, we made 760 at the tire and 658 torque, keeping it super, super safe. 759.18, whatever, 760. So even at 31 PSI, this made significantly more power than he was making. And he was telling me my car was safe. So anyway, this is in the past now. We're not going to talk about it anymore. Anyway, I'm going to film the B-roll now. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I've been talking for 30 minutes now. Hopefully this wasn't too boring. And yeah, maybe we'll hit. Well, you know what I'll do is I'll throw the GoPro on the way home. We'll drive it a little bit, and we'll do the outro when I get home. Sorry for talking so much. Let's go home. Let's hope we don't get pulled over on the way out of here. Oh man, these kids are such clowns here. They don't even, like, I remember this when I was here. They don't even look, like, people don't even look at each other. They like look at the ground and avoid eye contact. This was my dorm building. This is the other side of it. I mean, you know, I used to smoke cigarettes back in the day. I stopped smoking cigarettes a very long time ago, but I used to smoke back in the day, and used to smoke right there. And I don't know if you could smoke on this campus anymore, but you know, we used to smoke there, and these RAs would go bananas. These little intellectual midgets on their power trips, they would go absolutely bananas trying to, you can't smoke there, you can't smoke there, go 20 feet from the door. Like, man, go blow it out your ass. I'm not going anywhere. Oh my God. I'm glad I'm not paying tuition here anymore. I'm sorry I did in the first place. Sorry for the diatribe. I just like talking to you guys. I've been really stressed out over this YouTube thing, so this is kind of my creative outlet. You know what, actually we're gonna go right here, because I'll be able to give it a little bit of a rip, although I'm not gonna be able to get past this guy because he's not pulling up. Can't be using traction control. When traction control kicks in, it just kills the power. So I don't see anybody behind me. You know what we'll do is we'll give it a little bit of a rip right up here once we come around the turn. I hope the camera picks that up, because that is just a nutty sound. I mean, just like that, you're at 100 miles an hour. It's so fast how fast this car is. And you really, like, you know, some of you guys who drive fast cars, you might know this. Sorry about the wind. You know, when you get into a car like this, oh wait, downshifts. When you get into a car that's this fast, you really aren't looking at the speedometer anymore. We'll give it a second gear. I don't have much heat in the tires. We spun a little in second, but the Nittos hook up good. The Nittos hook up real good, especially when they got a little bit of heat in them and it's warm out like this. This car is so fast, dude. It is so incredibly fast. But the thing is, I didn't sacrifice the amazing handling capabilities of this car to make it this fast. I still have the other wheels, the OEM 827 M rears. And those things, you know, you throw those on and you can take the turns. You can take the turns. Do you hear that? This thing is a machine, dude. Machine. Is it worth it? You know, was it worth almost 142 grand? I don't know. You can ask the guy in the 991 GT3 RS I friggin' destroyed. I put 6 car lengths on. Maybe I'll put a little clip of that here. And I didn't even go full throttle on that guy, you know. I mean, it depends what you want from a car, you know. If you want a car that you can drive as a daily, that's not a, you know, Porsche exotic, and, you know, I think that this is a better option. I think that this is about as happy as I can be with a car. How much faster can you get? I haven't lost a race on the street yet, And you know, I'm racing anybody that pulls up next to me. And I'm giving everybody the hit, and I have not yet lost a race. I've raced a CTSV, I've raced a Scat Pack Destroyed, GT3 RS 991.1. I raced, you know, Q50s all the time. I don't even race them anymore because it's not even worth it. Modded, you know, 335s. I've raced a ton of different cars. There's nothing as fast as this unless you're getting into like crazy cars. And I mean, this is really at the limit of what you can actually drive. And here in New York, this is beyond the limit of what you can actually drive. So I think it's worth it. You know, as far as stock engine, stock turbos, stock trans, just port injection and bolt-ons, this is potentially one of the fastest cars on the planet. There was a video I saw the other day, a YouTuber was talking about, TJ Hunt was talking about it, and it was really a great way to put it. Like, when you're behind the wheel and you're getting into that throttle on a car that's got this much power, you're one place, you're in the moment. And so much of what we do as people in this technology age is spent in other places, not living in the moment. And I want to live in the moment, you know, and I really try to do that, and that's what I love about this thing. Anyway, I'm almost home. I'm gonna wrap this up here. You know, I appreciate you guys watching. You know, if you like this, you know, subscribe. But anyway, want to be transparent, you know, that's how much it cost. And if you wanted to build one of these, that's what you're looking at. So anyway, hope you guys have a great night. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.